Goldsmith College, University of London bans cafeteria beef to stop climate change. Here we go again. We talked about a meat tax in Germany of 19%. Now, again, the author of this page is biased of this particular area and their quality of beef. But Goldsmith University of London is also attempting to phase out single use of plastics and installing more panels to power its building, solar panels, I believe, as part of a move to become carbon neutral by 2025. Good luck. Beef products will no longer be available in the institution's cafes and shops when the academic year begins in September. Professor Francis Corner, who took up the post of Goldsmith warden this month, said the college would also switch to a completely green energy supplier when its current contract ends. Look into how all students could take curriculum options related to climate crisis. So, banning the sale of beef meat on campus, phasing out single-use plastics, and the other pledges the new warden has made highlights the current climate emergency that the world is facing. Now, again, the quality of the beef is being criticized here at the bottom. And also, one other thing to point out as well. This university is smack dab in the middle of every kind of restaurant choice that you could ever imagine in your life. Pizza, burger, steak, whatever. It's there around this college university. So the fact that they're going to go ahead and ban the beef, not really that big of a loss to these students because A, it's crappy anyway, supposedly. And they're right smack dab in the middle of multiple restaurants that are pretty much a variety of anything you like that serves beef. I'm sure of it. Beef is served at all these restaurants. 100% guarantee it. But the idea of serving less beef is going to save the climate. We talked about this, about how researchers believe that only a third of our farming land would be used if we did a 19% meat tax and cut back. I showed somebody I work with today the article about the ban on the beef and also about the 19% beef tax. And basically the conclusion we came to is that, well, pretty much what it comes down to is that they're trying to pretty much say, we're not gonna, we're gonna cut down on the population of the cows, basically. And the person said to me, not really getting deep into the climate discussion, they looked at me and said, there's something not right about that. That messes with the whole life cycle of everything. And he's right. Whether he believes in global warming or global cooling, the idea of banning meat altogether, which is starting to become a ridiculous trend right now, that people are actually referring that we should get rid of beef. All right? Flagellating cows are doing this, right? What else would motivate people to give up beef? Oh boy. Here he is. You know him as the inventor of the internet. You know him of the only person who ever encountered man, bear, pig. That's right. Climate hustler, partner at Beyond Meat, largest investor, Al Beep, moves to profit from anti-meat drive. Oh yeah. I read this article before the show again, and I really digested what it meant, and I let out a big sigh. And apparently it concerned Mari, because she asked me what was wrong. Well, I'll tell you what's wrong. Al Beep is standing to rake in millions from a World Resource Institute meat consumption reduction report, one that will certainly help boost profits for the meat substitute manufacturers, in which blank, Al, you know who, just happens to be a big stakeholder. Get it? He's a stakeholder in the anti-meat. Okay. CNN recently reported here on the just published report from the global research nonprofit World Resources Institute The 568-page report, dubbed Creating a Sustainable Food Future, recommends, among other actions, eating far less beef in order to rescue the planet. But according to S. Blank, at a thread on Twitter, the WRI's co-chair is David Blood. David Blood is a former Goldman Sachs asset management head who founded Generation Investment Management with Al Beep. Yes, that Al Beep. So I was curious why there was a sudden push to cut meat, particularly beef consumption. It seemed to come out of nowhere. I agree, 100% by the way. So I did a little research. And here it is, CNN. Americans will need to cut their beef consumption by about 40%, Europeans by 22%, and for the world to continue to feed everyone in the next 30 years, according to a new report. So the report is now looking for more and more like a junk science-based instrument designed to boost the planet-based substitute meat industry, which includes major companies such as Beyond Meat. Now, a little bit more deeper here. Kleiner Perkins, the biggest Beyond Meat investor. This guy here, General Investment Management, is connected to Kleiner Perkins, where former Vice President Al Beep is one of its partners and advisors. Who is Kleiner or Cleaner? Maybe it's Kleiner. Kleiner Perkins. Turns out they are Beyond Meat's biggest investor, according to bizjournals.com. The link is here for you to check it out. Again, I know I'm bringing you this information from a blog, but there are links to the proof. Beyond Meat is a Los Angeles-based producer of plant-based meat substitutes, founded in 2009 by Ethan Brown. The company went public in May, and just weeks later, the more than quadrupled their value. Yes, Al Beep, partner and advisor for Kleiner Perkins, Beyond Meat's big investor, stands to haul in millions should governments move to restrict real meat consumption and force citizens to swallow the dubious substitutes and fakes. If taken seriously, the World Research Institute report, backed by Beep Hacks, will help move the transition over to substitute meats far more quickly. According to S. Blank, all these "we need to cut beef consumptions to save the planet" stories originate from the WRI, whose co-chair is a partner in the firm that collaborates with the main investor of Beyond Meat and his co-founder partner in the main investor. Wow. And I know probably you folks are like, oh, you're making noises, amateur. You know how many times this channel gets messed with every time we say that name in full? I'm not taking any more chances, honestly. And Mari's had to bust her butt and just to get us back on the suggested recommended list by producing. That's why you guys have seen such an increase in videos. YouTube's trying to bury this information. We're doing our damnedest to stay away from things that could trigger whatever to keep us from being discovered. And trust me, guys, I would love to call this guy all kinds of names tonight. I used to have a segment, A-Hole of the Week. He would have won the crown for sure this week. But every time I've ever mentioned this person's name in full or mentioned anything negative, I had to pay for it. This channel has had to pay for it bad. And again, it's not worth mentioning this person's full name. We know who Al is. We know who Al is. And look at him. He's got to find a new way to make money, because guess what? The global warming thing is losing traction. But yet, for somehow, there's people out there who are buying this whole Green New Deal policy and banning meat. I've already showed you guys articles. Colleges banning meat. Germany wants to tax it. And then you got this guy here finding ways to get his hand in the cookie jar. Millions he stands to make. Just remember that, folks. Whenever you eat at a restaurant that is supporting this policy, whenever you go to a market in the future, not saying right now, it's not happening as widespread, but it's starting, and that's frightening already. All right. Just remember that, though, when you go into a restaurant and you know they support this substitute meat thing because they want to save the climate. If you're true to this community, you get your ass out of that restaurant. I'd rather you go to the store and go buy you a steak and get some Kingsford charcoal and throw a little bit extra coals on there. Pump that CO2 in the atmosphere while you're grilling that beautiful steak meat. This is insane. Let's ban beef. Climate change at its finest. The ideas are getting more and more... I think people are losing their mind out there in that side of the world. The AGW, the left. They're losing their brains. But yeah, he already made hundreds of millions of dollars off the global warming speeches. All the speeches about how it would be ice-free by 2013. And I love all this talk about sea level rise. Seriously, guys. One of my favorite experiments is putting in a glass of ice water with ice, fill it up, and then watch the ice melt into the cup. And wow, really, the water doesn't go up. How about that? How's that work again? You say that the ice is melting and sea level rise will occur because of the ice melting in the Arctic and the Antarctica? Is that what's happening? Because that's what... Okay. Again, usual suspects as always, and this man has made hundreds of millions of dollars, folks, off of one of the biggest hoaxes, bigger than the Russian hoax. Right here. Unreal.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.